on Colonial Sports Center. We recap the shellacking RMU took at Lafayette with sports editor Chris Mueller. Also, an eagle on 18 made history for the men's golf team. Also, Hannah and Dante picked the brains of Rebecca Vint and Maddie Coolius on their senior seasons. Coming up next. And I've missed all of you. Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center for the second edition of the 2014-15 school year. John Fisher, Haley Sawyer, more to come. I'm sick, so she's going to do a lot of the talking, and the cheers can stop now.
Just breathe in that direction, please.
Well, I'm going to try to. Men's football did travel to Lafayette for their second meeting in 3 years. They're going to try and make it 2 in a row. Also, we do have Rebecca Vint and Maddie Coolius.
Yep. Right in the studio, right to my left. And big news at the Islands today, actually, speaking of hockey, goal cameras were installed because it's a new NCAA regulation for goal review. It's pretty big.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I'm really going to like that when it's time to review some goals in the CHA and AHA playoffs. We're going to get them right this year.
Definitely.
But let's go to the gridiron first. After dropping 2 games against Eastern Kentucky and North Dakota, the slate was wiped clean and the Colonials deserved a fresh start. 2 years ago, Lafayette came to Joe Walton Stadium for the second night game in RMU history. Robert Morris won that night. In Lafayette, quite the opposite happened. The Leopards routed the Colonials 50-3 at Fisher Stadium. Lafayette accumulated 491 total yards on offense. What made matters worse, RMU only gained 108 offensive yards with only 4 first downs, and it surely was a night that the Colonials never want to experience again, which will make the Dayton game in 2 days that much more sweet. And to talk about that game, sports editor for RMU's Intermediate, Chris Mueller. Chris, the elbow. I can't shake your hand.
Oh, thank you.
I'll shake your hand.
Thank you for the consideration.
Someone can give you
not a problem.
handshake.
So 50-3. What happened?
I mean, it was a tough game for Robert Morris. I think they came out there in the first quarter expecting to play better than they actually did. Luke Brumbaugh got into a hole early due to a few special team penalties on the ensuing kick returns, and going from there, a few pick-6 interceptions. It's already 14-0 within the first 7 or 8 minutes of the game, and after that, it just really spiraled down. And unfortunately, Robert Morris really lost big and took a big lump in their record so far.
Now, there were some bright spots in that game. They were rather dim bright spots, but there were some. Let's talk about like Jake Tack having 9 tackles.
Yeah, Jake Tack, he's come on this season really unexpectedly. Just talking to defensive coordinator Scott Farrison, through training camp, Jake Tack was one of the guys, he's a senior linebacker, one of the guys that really stood out to him. So yeah, his 9 tackles really showed out there. Antoine Eddy with 2 interceptions was another bright spot. Once again, he doing what he does best, causing turnovers. And the other storyline was Moon alum Cole Blake, a freshman running back, getting a great opportunity with guys like Ramsey Zoen, Caleb Stennis, and Eric Main out for injury. Cole Blake got the call, and he actually ran with the opportunity. And it looks as if going forward, Coach Banaszak and his staff will give him more.
So Luke Brumbaugh, if people need to remember at home, this is his 3rd collegiate start in his career. A little bit rocky, with some bright spots, like Haley mentioned, especially last week against North Dakota and the week before against Eastern Kentucky later in the game. So where do you see the evolution of Brumbaugh coming into play, and is he on schedule?
Yeah, I'd say he's on schedule. The good thing about football is it's a week-to-week thing. He come out versus Dayton this weekend and play well. It's all behind him. And he's such a young quarterback, redshirt freshman eligibility, still a long time here to develop. I think it was just a question of his decision-making out there against Lafayette. Early, he got into some bad spells, and his confidence was shot, and he ended up getting taken out at the end of the 3rd quarter just because Coach Banaszak said you could tell on his face, like he just wasn't playing well, and he knew it, and just needed to get out of there and reevaluate next week.
All right, let's talk about special teams a little bit. Zach Zamiska snapped right over Lemoncusa's head. What is in Zach's future now?
I don't see Zach, retaining that position. He's a defensive lineman. I saw a few guys getting looks out in practice during this week, so I don't know who exactly will be out there. I don't think the coaching staff revealed it yet, but I'm certain that his days are done from the long snapping spot. But it's just a collective thing as a unit with special teams. Not running down on kickoff. They played a lot of freshmen out there, which kind of those guys were trying to get that baptism under fire, as Coach Banaszak stated. But now they're looking for some of the veterans on the roster to fill out those spots and kind of fill that void going forward.
Mike Stockovic is a guy that I believe he's the anchor of the defense, and I know you've said it before in our personal conversations, and especially in your articles. Where do you see Mike turning this team around? Because NEC play hasn't started yet. So they could lose the rest of their non-conference games and still win the NEC championship. Is Stankovic the guy to bring this team around?
Yeah, Mike's the leader. I think it's going to take more than just him out there in order for a turnaround. And really, the defense hasn't been the problem so far. They haven't played amazing, but they've played well and solid enough to win football games. But it comes to the point when if your offense can't score multiple touchdowns in a game, there's not much the defense can really do. They've played outstanding in the red zone, guys like Mike and Luke Mueller and Jake Tack, and they've played well. So I continue to see that, but it really falls back on the offense and how they play going forward.
Taking a look at the coaching staff, now there is no coach for special teams or the specialists. How is that different? How is that odd? Does that hold them back at all?
I don't think it holds it back just because yes, they don't have an official special teams coordinator, but head coach John Banaszak has ran the special teams. He did going back to when he was an assistant head coach back the last 13 years. As long as I've been here, he's been running that unit, and they have been going to show that they do produce good players. Tony Lamancusa is an all-NEC punter. He gets the recognition. Antoine Eddy, a All-American from the punt return position. So I think once they get some of these veteran guys out there, it's really going to help. And a big note, Dayton actually gave up a long punt return to Duquesne last week. So look for Antoine Eddy to really get back on track, so to say, this weekend.
And speaking of Dayton, they can never seem to pull it out in the end. Always very close, coming down to the wire. Can they finally break the schneid and beat the Flyers?
Yeah, I think it's certainly fumble the kickoff. Dayton goes back to score 21-7 at that point, game over. So really, if Robert Morris limits their mistakes early, that's really going to be key to beating Dayton.
All right, and we will see. Chris, thank you very much. Like I said,
yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thanks for the elbow.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll have you on very soon. And so let's go to one of the teams that, I think he led the nation in scoring. Well, not him yet, but something along those lines.
Last year he was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. The Colonials fell short by 1 and were unable to put out the Flames in the first game of the J. Scully Memorial Tournament at VMI. RMU struck first at the 13th minute with a goal courtesy of Nico Brett, as we were just talking about. They were able to hold off Liberty until the 89th minute. Following their first late goal, the Flames scored one last goal 3 minutes into overtime. RMU's Bruce Cullen had his first assist of the season, and Devin Williams registered 4 shots. Goalkeeper Brendan Alfery had 7 saves. But the Colonials redeemed themselves and snapped a 2-game slump the very next night with a shutout against tournament host VMI. Devin Williams started the scoring in the 10th minute and had an assist later in gameplay. Nico Brett scored twice and had 1 assist. Jared Latchford tallied his first career goal, and Brett and Cullen each had 5 shots in the game. Also, Corey McCurdy had an assist of his own, which would prove important a little bit down the road.
Well, yeah, a little bit. It wasn't enough that Nico Brett led the entire NCAA in points with 36 last year, so he felt inclined to add to the record books. Last week, Brett was named the UADE Northeast Conference Player of the Week. His 7 points in 2 games at the VMI J. Scully tournament is an indication that he wants another scoring title on his resume. In fact, Brett is currently in 6th in the nation in scoring. Just to top it all off, his current pace right now is better than 36 points for the season at 1 goal per game. And back to that McCurdy guy, just to keep the awards rolling.
Yeah, as we alluded to earlier, freshman midfielder Corey McCurdy has earned his first career accolade. He was named UADE Northeast Conference Men's Rookie of the Week after the J. Scully Memorial Tournament. McCurdy saw action in 178 minutes this past weekend and scored his first ever career point.
Well, many men's lacrosse players will be scoring their first career point this upcoming season.
Yeah,
we got some newbies.
A ton of freshmen.
We have some newbies to talk about.
Including some twins.
Including some twins. That is absolutely right, and we have some more. You have the scoop, I don't.
Yes, we have volleyball. The 9-game losing streak. I mean, we'll see if they'll snap that in the next
Also, we do have Rebecca Vitt-Manicolis. They're still here with our Hannah Smith, but not only that, 1 eagle on 18 changed history for RMU golf. We'll be right back.
Of course, I am here with Romo. How are you doing today, Romo? Great. All right, so Romo, just a few questions. How do you think the game is going right now for the Colonials? All right, on top of that, like, what do you think about the play of Paul Jones and his defense just demolishing Morgan State right now? All right, well, you heard it here first. Romo with his insight to the game. Back to you guys.
Be sure to tune in to Colonial Sports Center every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. on RMUCentralMedia.com and Channel 98 around the Moon Township area.
Romo, have you downloaded the app?
Roma, have you seen this app?
Hey, have you seen the app yet? No? All right, put it down. I'll show you what you can do. All you have to do is install it, and it'll open up for you. My favorite part of it is the police blotter. Check this out. When you click into it, you're going to go right to the top left, and as soon as you click on it, everything will be there that you need, so you can stay safe.
Download the RMU Century Media app on the App Store. Romo likes it, and so will you.
Back to Colonial Sports Center. I'm Hannah Smith, and I'm here with Maddie and Rebecca from the women's ice hockey team. Now, school's just started, and your season isn't quite in yet. So can you tell me what it's like being a student athlete and trying to manage all the stress that goes with that?
It's a lot of fun, but it's also, there's a lot of work to go with it. We're at practice all morning, and there's school. So I don't know, I think at the end it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a great education doing what we love, so we're kind of lucky, really.
Very lucky.
All right, so then does hockey ever seem to get in the way of class, or class get in the way of hockey to you guys?
It might be hockey in the way of class, just because like tests and that, but I don't know, it all has to do with time management, and I guess we've learned to manage ourselves well in the fact of like when to have classes and when to schedule our classes.
Right, so then whenever you guys were freshmen, was it hard for you to maybe like learn those time management skills? Because you guys probably have it down now, right?
Yeah.
Being seniors.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so then how do you manage to have a social life? Because I mean, you guys are constantly at practice, you have all these games. Like, do you guys have a social life?
Yeah, we try to. I mean,
We do.
we're busy.
Our games are on the weekends, you know, so, and that definitely connects into the classroom too, whether it's a group project or whatever else. You learn the work with other people and what works, what doesn't work.
Right, so then whenever you're not on the ice, what can you find yourselves doing? Do you guys go shopping like typical girls, or what do you guys do?
We go shopping a lot.
Yeah. Go get our nails done.
Yeah. We eat a lot and sleep.
Eat a lot. Who doesn't like that?
I know.
Okay, so how do you stay grounded with all the stresses that come with it? Like, is there ever a time you just get like flustered and be like, I don't know, can I do this? Or
I feel like every student athlete has probably thought that at one point in time, but I mean,
it goes back to being lucky with what we're having right now.
Yeah.
And like you just kind of push through it because you're doing what you love every day.
Yeah.
So has there ever been a time that you thought, why am I doing this?
I'm sure there has. I mean, maybe not recently. Maybe like freshman year when you're thrown so many different things and you're living away from home and all that. So I think that was probably the toughest year. Now it's just kind of routine. We're just used to now.
Yeah.
All right, so then what do you think your college experience would be like if you weren't a student athlete? Can you even imagine it?
No, I mean, not at all.
The amount of time we'd have, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
So what's something that maybe the team does before a game to prep for it?
We play soccer.
Soccer?
Yeah, we play keep-ups. There's lots of music going on. Everyone kind of has their own routine.
Yeah, like we have our team routine, and then you know, everyone kind of does their own stuff. There's some of us that play soccer, like she said, and some people just like to jam out some music.
Yeah, I like to sit in the stands and just like kind of stare at the ice. Some of the goalies like just like look at the ice.
Great. So, real quick, do you think it's all worth it in the end?
Absolutely.
Being a student
Definitely.
athlete?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Anything you regret?
Not at all.
Not at all.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for her. Thank you very much. And it is back to you guys at the desk.
What, Hannah, no hair joke? Really? You disappoint me. RMU men's lacrosse has some work to do after losing 7 seniors to graduation. With the bad comes some good. All NEC selections Eric Rankel, James Ray, and John Patrick Keeley come back for another superb season. Who exactly are the newcomers to don the Colonial Red? Well, here is a list of a few recruits. One close to my heart, John Abendanza, the goaltender from North Allegheny High School. Yes, go Rams from Pine Richland. Connor Yepsen, the Yepsen twins from Rosemount, Minnesota. Interestingly enough, Haley, the Karwackis for women's lacrosse, Corey and Jessica, were the first set of twins in the last few years, and the Yepsens are the second. And on top of that, a lot from Ohio, which is kind of weird. You know, not a lot of good comes from Ohio.
For recruiting, yeah.
Well, you know, I'll tell you one thing. 5 representatives will come from the state that has absolutely 0 championships. And let's talk about this just a little bit before we get to men's hockey. 3 assistant captains, by the way, coming up in a bit. Do you expect a better season? I mean, they can only improve.
For lacrosse?
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got a massive freshman class coming in right now. I mean, it can only go up.
Yep. All right. So.
And your hair game is looking a little bit weak today, so I'm
guessing
that's why Hannah didn't say anything about your hair.
I don't have any bling.
Sorry.
So 3 assistant captains, right?
Yeah.
New
3
players. Let's go.
Let's do it. Here is the list of, whoops, that's the wrong story.
Need a hand?
I got it. Last year, the men's hockey team rotated captains, which was interesting, but this year they have announced 3 assistant captains for sure. David Rigotti, Scott Jacqueline, and Tyson Wilson will all join Captain Cody Wido for the 2014 and 2015 season. Senior forward Rigotti is one of 2 Pennsylvania natives and has skated in 79 games thus far. Senior forward Jacqueline scored the overtime goal last season that pushed the Colonials to the Atlantic Hockey Championship game. Redshirt junior Wilson paced all defensemen with 19 points last season and blocked 83 shots.
Speaking of blocking shots, friend of the show Becky Schonecker needed to relive up to her Player of the Week reputation. She posted a goose egg last week against St. Bonaventure. This time around, Northern Kentucky came out firing in the overtime loss. Schonecker only gave up 1 goal, but was then pulled in favor of Chelsea DeJagger. DeJagger gave up the game-winning goal to Sam Rutkowski in the 96th minute. The loss was the 5th on the season. The Colonials will then travel to Niagara and Canisius and then return home to host Howard on the 23rd.
Switching to the court, RMU volleyball finished out the Omni Invitational in Boulder, Colorado with a loss to Idaho State. It took 3 sets for the Bengals to defeat the Colonials. The first set was 25-16, the second 25-13, and the third and final 25-17. Sydney Sizemore had a team-high 20 digs on the evening in the effort. Erica Robb had 8 kills and 58 total attempts. And on Tuesday, the team would drop yet another match 3-0, this time to Akron. The loss against the Zips was the Colonials' 9th straight. The first match was tight with the final score of 25-23. Even closer was the second match, which was 27-25, and in the final frame, it brought a score of 25-22. Madeline Betts had 6 kills and Melissa Bograd registered 14 digs.
Since this is the first story on golf for the year, I figured I will be really excited about it.
Is this the first story on golf, ever?
No, we did one last year. Ryan Procray led the Colonial golf team to a historic victory in a Keenan Invite Championship. RMU set a team record. Am I yelling loud enough yet? With Procray's eagle on the 18th par 4. The 36-hole score is the team's best by 6 strokes, breaking a Keenan tournament record. Take that, Tiger Woods. Because, I mean, they can at least win and, you know, get something under par. Okay.
And have a reputation untarnished as well.
Huzzing. So Dante Verme will sit down with Rebecca and Maddie once again, but more on the X and O's, which is more your specialty.
A little bit. I like to do a little both, but it'll be interesting to see what the new season brings for the girls.
Coming up next, stay tuned.
G Morning Sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you. Bobby? Susie? Don't worry, that's just the power of the art!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Yes, ready, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. We're lucky enough to have Rebecca Vint, Maddie Cleus here for part 2 of our interview. I'm Dante Verme. Ladies, made it through part 1. How do you feel so far?
Pretty good.
So earlier today it came out you guys were preseason #1 in the CHA. Congratulations. How is it going to mean anything to you guys going forward?
It's not going to change the way our work ethic has been. We don't look at that and really take note of it. I don't know. We always work hard every day, so it just comes to game day and how we play.
You have anything to add?
What she said. No, I mean, it really only matters, like, what we do with how hard we worked, you know? I mean, comes to on the ice. That's all that matters.
And is there anything over the summer you guys in particular in your game wanted to work on and improve coming into this season?
Our shot, my shot.
Yeah, we both worked really hard on our shot this summer, and just getting stronger in the weight room.
It was nice. We both lived here this summer. It was nice to work out with our trainer all summer.
Yeah.
And just get into the routine starting, well, pretty much it started last August when we first started working out with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and to have the facilities that he has in the back, which is nice to use.
Yeah.
And obviously, Rebecca, you're coming in this senior as a captain. What are, looking back at the other captains that have been here at this program, what are some of the things that they've taught you that you're looking forward to try and implement into your year as team captain?
It's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff that you gotta take into effect, but as long as you keep positive and kind of keep a tab on everyone, it should be pretty good.
And speaking of keeping tabs, what do you guys have to say so far about the new freshmen coming in? Last year we had Brittany Howard and Jessica Dodds who got invited to Team Canada's camp. Obviously it's a pretty impressive freshman class to start with. What do you guys think of the new one this year so far?
They're hardworking, very hardworking. Yeah, I think they'll do great this year. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
And looking at the game on Saturday, it's a dress rehearsal of sorts. What are some of the things you guys are looking forward to finally getting to play another team instead of practicing against each other, you know, for so many weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's always really exciting that first game because you can take all the hard work that we've done the last 4 weeks and actually put it towards something, you know, and
it's someone new playing against, like,
you
play against the same, because we're always split into the same teams, and it's kind of like you play against the same people all the time. So just to have that new set of legs or a new set of hands out there, it's nice to new views.
Yeah.
You guys were really good at home last year. What are you looking forward to trying to build on that? You know, it's a banner year for the team. We're so close to finishing in the top 10. You know, what are you trying to look forward to building to play at home? You know, hopefully the crowds will get a lot bigger as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice if they got bigger. I don't know. We're just looking to, I guess, have a better road record too. But our main goal is to win CHAs and win the NCAAs.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, if you look at Coach Colantino, is there anything he's been telling you guys, especially as seniors going into your last season here at Robert Morris?
I don't know.
I mean, it's our last year, you know, so just kind of go into it with doing everything that we can on and off the ice. You know, don't want to look back with any regrets. It's your last year. Give it all you got, and
basically on the ice and off the ice. Like in the classroom, everywhere is just as important. There's no it's not more important to be on the ice. You got to put in that effort off the ice too.
Well, I have good news. You guys survived round 2.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Coming up next, we'll have a look ahead for Robert Morris Athletics. Stay tuned to CSC.
Nicaragua is a completely different world. We were there to bring nursing care to some desperate people.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
The very first person that I met was David. Kept saying, "You have to come to my house and watch me play my trumpet." You could tell from the look on his face that it was just his most prized possession. I get back home. A few weeks later, I got a message that a gang had broken into his house at night and they stole it, which was his life. So next trip back, we gave him a new one. The look on his face was just complete disbelief. He just absolutely couldn't believe it. And to be able to do something like that is one of the best moments of my life. He said he'd never forget us.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives are just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
Welcome back to CSC. Thanks to Rebecca Vint and Maddie Coulias for coming on the show. Next week we're going to have an athlete for you. We don't know who it is.
It'll be a surprise.
Oh, it will be a surprise special guest. So why don't we look ahead to see who that could be in the upcoming schedule. Ms. Sawyer, you're first.
Okay, coming up on Friday, tomorrow, men's soccer at James Madison, 7 o'clock. See if they can keep that win streak going. Volleyball versus UC Irvine in Oakland, Michigan. See if they can snap their losing streak conversely. Saturday, volleyball at Oakland again. Football at Dayton, big game. Women's soccer at Canisius, volleyball versus Bowling Green. And then an exhibition, first ever women's hockey match versus Blue Water at the Island. Be there.
We will Sunday men's soccer, Canisius women's soccer takes on Howard at home. And that's all you need to know about that. So we're running a little bit out of time. RMU Live every Monday at 1 o'clock.
RMUCenturyMedia.com, news, lifestyle, sports, tips for everyday living, everything you could ever need.
RMU Radio, your campus, your voice, RMURadio.com.
Trending now, Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Great show.
And I was quiet for that Campus Stories. Check it out on Wednesdays in the afternoon. We're going to have to speed it up a little bit. Next week, we'll have some sports for you, right?
Sports? Why? We've
Who
never done
knows?
that before.
We're not RMU Live. We'll see you all next week. Take care.